What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to another video. Nick here, and as you can see, we are in my kitchen. And going with that, I'm going to be starting a new video series called Nutrition with Nick, where I'm going to be going over some really hot topics that are going on in the fitness and health and nutrition industry, and just kind of go over kind of the facts that I see and the pros and cons and kind of why I do or don't use that particular food or product that's being talked about.
The first food we're going to talk about is coconut oil. First off, coconut oil is oil that is extracted from mature coconuts. Coconut oil. The big pro out there for coconut oil is that some studies have shown that it actually increases energy expenditure. And for those of you who don't know, energy expenditure is the way you burn calories. And specifically what it is about coconut oil that allows that process to occur more rapidly is its high amount of what's called medium chain triglyceride fatty acids. I won't go into the specifics of what that is and bore you with that. I'm sure no one else other than me cares about what that really is. Now you're probably wondering, like, oh, what relevance does, we'll call them MCTs have to my life? I'm never going to understand it. Well, basically, just to give you kind of a little easy comparison to think about, olive oil, which everybody cooks with, is very high in long chain triglycerides. And what the body can do is it can actually absorb and metabolize these medium chain triglycerides that make up about 65% of coconut oil faster than these long chain triglycerides. So basically, your body can absorb and metabolize the fat from coconut oil faster than it can from olive oil. These MCTs in coconut oil also have what's called a higher thermogenic effect of food than long chain triglycerides. And I know that sounds like a really fancy term, but all that means is the amount of energy or calories that your body uses to actually break down that food. So a food with a higher thermogenic effect of food, your body uses more calories to actually break it down. And MCTs in coconut oil require more energy to break down than long chain triglycerides that are found in your vegetable oils and your meat fats. Now that's the lesson in biology or chemistry for anyone who've missed out on in high school, and I even did. But in terms of just general reasons why I use coconut oil, is because it has a really sweet flavor when you cook with it as opposed to olive oil. And if you're vegan out there, then it's a really good substitute for butter or lard. And also it's a lot less processed than a lot of your margarines and your butters and some of your vegetable oils. See here, I bought extra virgin organic coconut oil. It was only about $5. That tub's probably gonna last me more than a month. So it's actually not a bad deal to kind of go with the more organic version. Now the big negative out there for coconut oil is that it has such a high saturated fat content. One serving of coconut oil, at least the one I have, has 14 grams of fat, 12 of which come from saturated fat. And for those of you who just will give you a quick rundown of how fats are broken down. So you have your unsaturated, which include your poly and mono unsaturated fats. And then you also have trans fats, which are an unsaturated fat. And trans fats are the really bad ones that, basically aren't found in a lot of foods anymore, which is good. And then you have your saturated fat. The American Heart Association, which sets dietary guidelines, says you should consume more unsaturated fats coming from poly and mono unsaturated than you should saturated fats. And I feel like a lot of that is because most foods that are really high in saturated fat are your cookies, your butters, your muffins, some of your really high fat beef and meat is high in saturated fat. Now when the American Heart Association came out with this article, in my view, their big push was to try and get people to eat more unsaturated fats than saturated fats. And they were saying that you should keep saturated fats to less than 10% of your caloric intake. So if you eat 2,000 calories, then saturated fat should be less than 200 calories of your day. Now, most people around, the 20 to 30 age range are probably eating above that, and because we need that more energy. And a half serving of coconut oil, which I'll show you, is more than enough for a pan. Only yields 6 grams of saturated fat, which times 9 grams of calories per gram of fat, gets you 54 calories from that coconut oil from saturated fat, which is fine. So as you can see, I got my coconut oil on my food scale here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out about 7 grams, that's about a half serving. We're gonna zero out the scale until it says -7. -9, too much. -8, that's half. It doesn't look like much, but then we're gonna put it in the pan. All of it in the pan, at least. There you go.
That's crazy talk!
That's not crazy talk. This is crazy talk.
Guys, so in conclusion, the main reasons that I use coconut oil and that I think it's beneficial is because A, it tastes good. It adds a really, really good flavor to whatever you're cooking on, especially eggs. That's a ton of flavor to eggs. And B, the fatty acid breakdown, those medium chain triglycerides I was talking to you about, get metabolized quicker in your body, so your body can use them quickly as energy, as opposed to the fatty acid breakdown that's in olive oil. And I've been comparing it a lot to olive oil because olive oil is probably the most heavily used cooking oil out there, and I think coconut oil would be a really good substitute for people. And also, there was a study I read up on, and I'll put all these studies that I've been talking about in the description box below in case you care to look at them. There was actually a study that looked at patients with Alzheimer's disease and fed them a fixed amount of coconut oil versus a placebo group for a period of time. And the group that ate the coconut oil actually improved their cognitive abilities over the span of that trial while on the coconut oil compared with the placebo group. So if you have any other major health conditions, there has been signs that it could be beneficial toward it. But again, I'm no doctor, I'm no nutritionist. This is just what I've read and what I've seen. So guys, go ahead and give this video a like if you found anything helpful or not, and maybe leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree or anything, or just want to stir up a conversation with me. And if you want to see more videos about food and nutrition and training tips or advice, hit that subscribe button below. I try to post at least 2 videos a week. We'll see how hectic my schedule gets, but I do appreciate you guys tuning in to watch this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.